Topic is what God has united, let no one separate. Citation from Matthew chapter 19, verse 6. And then there's a subtitle called The Present Day Challenge. We all have heard the saying, marriages are made in heaven, right? And what does that mean? Or what do people want to say by that? Anyway, whatever people mean to say, I suppose as long as the marriages go well, they say marriages are made in heaven. If they don't go well, I don't know what to say. Anyway, the question now also is a problem that is cropping up in the last decade or so with the LGBTQ plus unions asking for marriage rights and all that. And so the question is, today we had no problem until some years ago as to what marriage is. Today we have a problem to understand what is marriage. The definition of marriage is changed. So now, where do we get the answer? We have Gaudium et Spes, the Second Vatican Council gave us a clear understanding of marriage. Archbishop Thomas cited number 47 in his address in the morning on marriage. And I'm referring to the next number 48, where it says, I'm reading part of it, where it says, the intimate partnership of married life and love has been established by the Creator and qualified by His laws and is rooted in the conjugal covenant of irrevocable personal consent, a consent that cannot be revoked. And then it continues saying, whereby, through that consent, the spouses give each other one to the other, and they become one reality, and they start a new unit, new family, a lasting one. Now this is from the Vatican Council too. And when it clearly says, God Himself is the author of matrimony. So what people say is correct. Marriage is something in heaven, because God is the author of marriage. Now, when He says about, we know that God is the author of marriage, but which marriage? God Himself has placed the heterosexual gravitation in every living being. Heterosexual gravitation in every living being. When I say every living being, means every living being, even plants, even flowers need pollination, right? Bees do the work. Animals, everybody, therefore also human beings. It is God's will that man and woman should get married and collaborate with Him in the work of creation. In the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 28, we read, God blessed Adam and Eve, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. Therefore, the church laws, I'm talking about canon law now, rightly states, all can contract marriage, all can marry, who are not prohibited by law. You must be surprised why the law is saying some are prohibited by law. Yes, we priests are prohibited. Sisters, they are made a provision. They are prohibited. So law says, who are prohibited? So don't be surprised if the law says all can get married if they are not prohibited by law. Then we have a beautiful summary of what Vatican Council taught about marriage, which is on the first canon on marriage reads. I'm just reading from the canon. The marriage covenant by which a man and a woman established between themselves a partnership of the whole life, and which of its own very nature is ordered to the well-being of the spouses and to the procreation and upbringing of children. So it says, first of all, marriage is between a man and a woman. And the purpose, well-being of the spouses, and procreation and upbringing. So there is a purpose for marriage, which canon law speaks. Already 5 minutes? 5 minutes already? 2 more minutes. Okay, what is the situation today? Today, problem is not marriage anymore. People are not marrying. This is the problem. People are not marrying at all. The European statistics shows in 2022, 42.2% children born were outside marriage. 42.2% children born outside marriage. So the problem is, there's a huge problem with regard to marriage itself. It's not about the married people anymore. They're not married at all. This is the problem. Now, how does the church respond to not this problem, but the other problem with the married people where the marriages are breaking? What has Pope Francis done? Yes, because the Synod on finally in 2014-15 wanted the canon law, which was referred by Father Alex this morning, to be made more accessible. And Pope Francis has amended the law. But the problem lies, it's not sufficient to amend the law. You have to address the problems. What do people want? They want annulment. The church doesn't have it. The church declares the invalidity of marriage. So what happens in the church process? I recently had a case. They come saying she has done this or problem for her. The truth is not said. And therefore the whole process is conducted on a false ground. You come to the end of the process and you cannot declare the invalidity of marriage because it has been built on a lie. This is where we need a change of mentality, formation. So therefore, the last thing I'm coming to close because there's no time. But anyway, the article that I wrote, which gives a little more explanation. So what we need is a marriage office in every diocese, in every parish. Marriage office to advise people what is marriage procedure, how to get an answer to your problem. Even to prepare for marriage, this marriage office will be of great help. Thank you.